Yvonne is helping to run a funeral home. To plan for the expenses, Yvonne's trying to estimate some items regarding taxes with their employee. So the first task of this problem of the week comes down here. Okay, the first task is to calculate the employees. Let me see if I can get a text box going. There we go. We need to calculate how much of each of those taxes they have to withhold for the employee that they have. They have to withhold the federal taxes, and so that's where you can calculate their federal taxes, Social Security taxes, state taxes, and then Medicare taxes. Okay, so and it's also for part one, it's how much of each tax item should the employer withhold from the weekly paycheck. So you could first start by calculating how much they make per week, and then use those percentages, the 6.8% for federal taxes, to calculate how much their federal taxes. Use the 6.2% for Social Security, use 4.8% for state, and use 1.45% for Medicare. Okay, so at $15 an hour, 30 hours a week, calculate how much they make per week, and then you can use that number to calculate how much of each of these types of taxes. That's part one. Okay, that's it. For part two, how much should the employer expect to pay in taxes for the year? So this is how much the employer pays, not how much the employee pays. The employer pays 6.2% Social Security and 1.45% Medicare. So for this employee, the employee makes $15 an hour for 30 hours a week for 50 weeks a year. So that's their salary for the year. We can multiply that by the decimal form or the percentage to find out how much they have to pay for Social Security. This is how much the employer has to pay for Social Security. And I'll leave this for students. It should be almost the same exact thing for Medicare. Add the Medicare tax, except instead of 6.2%, you'd obviously use 1.45%. So that's it for the second part. That's how you calculate how much per year the employer has to pay. And then the final question is, how much is the employer spending per hour for this employee? Well, they're paying $15 an hour plus 6.2% on $15 because they pay 6.2% for Social Security for every hour they work. And then they also pay 1.45% for every hour they work with Medicare. So this is what you have to calculate for the third part. And that will tell you how much this employee costs the employer per hour.